Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I gotta say is, who dat?
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Really do appreciate your time. Much love to each and every one of you. Hope everybody is having a good week, man. I mean, this weather, and I'm talking about everywhere. It seems like is up and down, man. I mean, it was about 29 degrees yesterday. Now it's about 60 something here. Like, man, what is going on, man, with this weather? But look, I hope everybody is enjoying, the holiday season. Hope everybody is, happy and healthy and all that other stuff, man. And I really do appreciate you all's time. I ask that you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you enjoy the State of the Saints podcast. Man, it's been crazy, man. I mean, we have come a long way here on the State of the Saints podcast, man. I started this podcast in September 2018. September 2018, man. I never forget that, man. I never forget when I started this podcast. I would never have imagined that this podcast would have grown to be what it is today, man. And I often say this because I don't want anybody to think no matter what happens when it comes to the success of this podcast that I forget about the individuals that make this podcast what it is. I mean, it's so amazing, man, how you go from not even being able to afford a webcam, and now, you're rolling up on Yahoo Sports and checking out the State of the Saints podcast on Yahoo Sports, man. That is crazy. That is insane that happened, man. I mean, no corporate backing, no news publication that I have been affiliated with, just a lot of hard work and dedication, man. And thank you all for believing in this podcast, supporting this podcast over the years, supporting me, no matter if I'm doing this podcast or some other venture. I really do appreciate it, man. And 2026 is going to be just as exciting because, man, I plan on putting a lot of things in work that involve a lot of different podcast shows, man. So I'm looking forward to 2026 and looking forward to giving you all great content, no matter what you're interested in. Rather you're interested in sports, rather you're interested in wrestling, rather you're interested in life. Gonna have something for everybody. I have that on the way for you. So make sure that you all keep it locked, and I'll keep you posted as we go on. But let's go ahead and get into it. Shouts out to everybody in the chat right now. Just wanted to give people opportunity to kind of file in. I know some people are like, man, I don't get the notifications. It takes people a few minutes to come be a part of the show. So just wanted to, do some church announcements first before we got into it. But, this conversation, I guess you can say it's a part two, because we kind of talked a little bit about it the last time we were live here on the State of the Saints podcast. We talked about the New Orleans Saints and, them winning football games down the stretch, or trying to win football games down the stretch versus tanking. And the reason why we're having this conversation, of course, is because it I guess depends on who you talk to. People have a different perspective on what the New Orleans Saints should do when it comes to, the draft. As of right now, upon the making of this podcast, the Saints would have the fifth pick in the draft, but we know there's 4 games left, so that is subject to change. And, some Saints fans are upset about the fact that the New Orleans Saints are messing up their draft positioning by winning football games. The fact that, you were picking number 3 before a big game. Now you're picking number 5, and, they're worrying about, who the New Orleans Saints can actually get with that pick. But look, I said this last episode, and I'll say it again for those that didn't tune in. And, feel free to check out the previous episode if you didn't already. You're not going to make these guys who play the game of football, and this is their livelihood, you're not going to make them go out there and basically just phone it in. I think the fact that the New Orleans Saints have players on this football team that are willing to go out there and continue to fight and continue to work on getting better, I think that's a testament to, number one, the guys they have inside of the locker room, the leadership that is in the locker room, and also the vision and the belief in Kellen Moore. Because I was under the belief that if the New Orleans Saints would have walked through this game versus Tampa disinterested and not really taking it serious and saying, man, who cares about, the outcome, I think that would speak volumes about the head coaching job of Kellen Moore. But I walk away from that game feeling a little bit more confident in the future of the New Orleans Saints under Kellen Moore, because this is one of the worst seasons I've seen from the New Orleans Saints since I probably was a teenager, like probably younger than that. Like it's been bad. But the fact that the New Orleans Saints, who are sitting here at 3-10, are still trying to fight and trying to win as many games and getting these not just, physical victories, moral victories, and also, guys are challenging themselves. Like we listened to Cam Jordan talk about some of the things he want to achieve. A lot of these guys have these goals that they still want to meet, despite the fact that they're eliminated from playoff contention. And I think that is amazing that they are still buying into the 2025 season. I just think that the draft is going to work itself out. And I never been under the impression that one individual is going to change the misfortunes of your franchise. Like it's a collective effort. Now, you can look at some of the players that you draft throughout the years and, they go to a team and, that team finds success. But if, that player is probably playing well, but it also is accompanied by maybe the opposite side of the football that player plays, right? I mean, for example, let's look at Jaden Daniels, his rookie season, right? He gets drafted by the Commanders. He's playing at a high level, right? But you also had some other things that were going the way of the Commanders as well. Now, you're not going to be able to just fix everything about your football team with one draft pick if you are the New Orleans Saints. I think we're all in agreement that the New Orleans Saints need more than what they actually have or what they will actually get in a draft. Like you can probably get a guy, probably not at 5, but you can get a guy with the talent of a Arvell Reese, who you see on the screen right here. I mean, this guy has 6.5 sacks, and he's virtually unguardable when it comes to getting to the quarterback. He's always around the quarterback. He's a disruptor, right? Or you can get a Reuben Baines Jr. who has 4.5 sacks as of right now. Like you can find guys like that can be that top pick, but the fact that you're actually picking in the top 5, top 10, you're still going to get yourself a really good player set up in the front office. But last season in 2025, we all have to admit, we have got to admit this, despite the fact that Mickey Loomis and the front office aren't our favorite people at this point because we feel like the Saints could do more. They did a good job this past draft. I mean, you're seeing players that were a part of this 2025 draft making plays everywhere, right? I mean, would you say that Calvin Banks is the future at left tackle? I would. I mean, as long as he stays healthy, I think he's going to be one of the best left tackles in football down the stretch, right? I think that he is a cornerstone player. Like you look at guys like Danny Stutzman, he's making plays. Quincy Riley is making plays. Jonas Sinker is making plays. Devin Neal, he had a really good game. So this was a really good draft. And look, it's okay that you may have feelings and thoughts and views about Mickey Loomis as a general manager. I still do. You know, like there's that old saying, like a clock is right twice a day. It still does not defeat the fact that he has not been good at his job consistently. But I will give them props. You can still give a person props and still be critical of every, of some things that they do, some practices that they I guess like they partake in. But at the end of the day, this has been a really good draft. And if you can actually build on this draft, right? Do your due diligence, do your homework, do your research, and replicate it, right? I'm not saying that you're not going to always hit it out of the park. There's going to be a draft pick or two that's just not going to work out. You probably feel like it was a good fit for your team, but it won't be. But this isn't an easy fix. So tanking is completely pointless. Like there's not just this one player that is going to come in and that's going to just change the way that the Saints are being looked at and have been looked at over the last 5 seasons. You could add somebody to the team that can contribute, but they're not going to be the sole reason why this New Orleans Saints team turn it around. You're going to turn it around by drafting well, also making your spot a appealing destination. That is why it's important, and I've said this several times, that's why it's important for Tyler Shuck to play well. Like some people, want to dismiss Tyler Shuck and talk about, oh, he ain't this, he ain't that. But you should want Tyler Shuck to play well because that is how the New Orleans Saints are going to get themselves out of this situation. When guys are free agents, they want to go to teams that they feel like give them a chance to win, right? And one of the main reasons why it was so hard for the New Orleans Saints to be able to get free agents, on top of the fact that they didn't have any money, it was the fact that it wasn't a appealing spot. Right? You went into the 2025 season with 3 unproven quarterbacks. I mean, you got Jay Hayner, you got Tyler Shuck, you got Spencer Rattler. Like that's not going to attract a free agent that can give you something that can be a disruptor at a certain position. But what will attract a player is if Tyler Shuck down the stretch looks like he can be the future of this franchise. It's going to make maybe a possible wide receiver that is a free agent, make him maybe want to take a trip. A defensive player, make him want to take a trip. An offensive lineman, make him want to take a trip. But if you don't have stability at some of the key positions, nobody is going to want to talk to you or break bread with you about the possibility of coming to your organization. So Tyler Shuck playing well is extremely important for the New Orleans Saints. And once again, one player in the draft is not going to change the Saints' misfortunes. And even if the New Orleans Saints find themselves picking 6th or 7th, like that's still a really good draft pick. Like you got Calvin Banks, a potential cornerstone left tackle, right, with the 10th pick. So if you're picking 7, I mean, you can find yourself getting a really good, talented player. I mean, I'm taking a look at some of these top players that are going to be a part of the NFL draft. Some of them have not declared, but I think we pretty much know that these guys are going to be a part of this draft. I mentioned Reuben Bain Jr. He's the number 1 ranked draft pick as of right now, according to CBS Sports. You got Peter Woods from Clemson, Fernando Mendoza from Indiana, Jordan Tyson, Arizona State, Caleb Downs, Ohio State, Cornell Tate from Ohio State, Tennessee. You got Francis Miagoa from Miami. He's an offensive lineman. I mean, so you got Spencer Fano from Utah. So there's a bunch of talented guys that you can actually get, in this draft. And, I know people, would talk about, when I say Francis Miagoa, they're like, oh man, not again, man. Let's stay away from these offensive linemen. But man, until the Saints fix this offensive lineman situation, like it's going to continue to stay the same, and it's frustrating, right? It's almost like riding in a car, and then all of a sudden your radiator goes out, and then all of a sudden like you replace the radiator, And then, it's like, okay, I'm riding, man. And then all of a sudden your car starts smoking again, right? It's like, oh man, I just fixed this radiator, man. Why is my car running hot, right? It's like, now you got to find out why the car is running hot, because it's not the radiator. Like, what is it now? Right? That's kind of like how Saints fans feel. Like, man, we spent all of this draft capital on first round offensive linemen only for these guys to have a paper mache offensive line where it just basically like doesn't matter the talent or the caliber of the defensive end. They're going to find success at getting after the quarterback. But look, you got to fix this offensive line issue. And until the New Orleans Saints do, they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do at the offensive line position. And honestly, if they fix this offensive line, I feel like that is how they're going to generate success offensively, because that would give Tyler Shuck time to throw the ball to his receivers. That would give the running game an opportunity to be a part of the game. And then you can set yourself up to have a really good balanced attack. So, look, I know it's frustrating, right? Once again, you fix that radiator and the car's still running hot. But at the end of the day, until you fix the situation, car's still going to run hot, folks. Right? Until you fix the offensive line situation, you're still going to have the same issues, man. So they got to fix this. I know it's like, man, why are we wasting draft picks on this? But until you fix it, you got to go into the draft trying to address it. So I don't know what they need to do. I don't know if I don't know who they need to call up. Maybe need to have Brian Baldinger as an advisor or something like. Should call up Brian Baldinger, call up Baldy and see what he can do. He knows how to analyze offensive linemen, and is a nice guy, by the way. A really, really nice guy. I met him at the combine. Really, really nice guy. He sat there and he talked to me about 10, 15 minutes about like offensive linemen and in his process of, what he go through when he's watching film. Addison, thank you very much for your comment here. It says, if we beat Carolina again and win out in Atlanta, that's 4 out of 6 division game wins. That's promising. Yeah, it very much is promising. And I hope that that's on the mind of the New Orleans Saints. I want to see the New Orleans Saints win as many games as possible. Because, number one, wouldn't that put your mind at ease to know that if the New Orleans Saints win those games down the stretch, that number one, they are trending in the right direction. And number two, they found their franchise quarterback in Tyler Shuck. Like, so, I mean, if they're winning games, that means that Tyler Shuck has did something offensively and has, the Saints have rounded the corner. So as far as I'm concerned, like, you should want that. Because if you go into the season, like, okay, if you go into the end of the season, the Saints getting smacked around in every single game down the stretch, like, how is that going to put your mind at ease for next year? Like, okay, you hear a draft pick name called early, but you're still going to have the same issues. You're still going to have the same head coach, still going to have the same question marks at the quarterback position, because I can tell you, New Orleans Saints are not going to draft a quarterback early after, like, what Tyler Shuck is showing them. Like, there's no way. So you're still going to have the same issues. I would hope that some of the issues that plagued the New Orleans Saints early in the season slowly start to become absolved with the development of the players. Like, I'm not trying to see them lose a game after game, loss after loss, so they can get a draft pick to basically have the same issues. And everybody just going into the season frustrated, dejected, like morale low. Like, nobody wants that, man. Like, you want to look forward to the 2026 season and have some things you can actually build on. Alfred, thank you very much for the 499. Says, I know we have many holes, but how would you feel if we drafted Cornell Tate first round and Bell, if he falls due to injury? We need juice bad. We thirsty. I mean, I wouldn't think that would be a good idea. I mean, if you're drafting a wide receiver in the first round, like, there's no need for you to draft one in the second round either, because, I mean, it's not like you don't have talent at the wide receiver position. Like, Chris Olave is talented, right? I mean, Devon Vele is showing you levels of talent. Like, I think Jalen Polk is talented. I mean, I've watched him at the University of Washington. He's a guy that I feel like is that 50-50 ball contested catch type guy. Trey Palmer, to me, is a disciplined route runner. So it's not like the cupboard is bare. Like, if these guys can get on the right road to recovery, I mean, they got themselves a nice, young, talented wide receiver group. So if you was to get a guy like Tate, go alongside this wide receiver group, like I think that's a good collection of players, man. If you was to get Bell in the next round, like that would be a really good fit as well. I mean, I don't think that it's to a point where, you have to be drafting wide receiver after wide receiver. I just think that just would speak to the appeal, I guess like the fan base. Like that's what they want. Like you want some levels of excitement and want these guys to put up 40 points, which, everybody wants to see their offense put up a bunch of points. But I think we have to look at this thing realistically, man. I think the defensive side of the football needs an edge rusher, a guy that is going to be a disruptor and that's going to give you those double-digit sacks. Like if you can get that earlier, then I'm all for that. If the New Orleans Saints feel like, okay, Alvin Kamara, he's toward the tail end of his career, we need somebody else that can come in and provide some juice. Like, why not Jeremiah Love? Why not get a guy like that can be dynamic, that can make things happen, that can make guys miss? See, the Saints, they need playmakers. They need somebody that's going to go and get it. It's not just, he open, I catch the ball, fall down on the ground. Like, no, you want players that if a quarterback throws him the ball on the screen, like he turns a play that should have been like 3 yards into 33 yards. Like you need guys that can get yards after the catch. You need dynamic playmakers, not just, guys that, that can probably win a 50-50 ball falling down to the ground. Like they need guys that's going to stay on their feet, that's going to fight for extra yards, that's going to be, down and dirty when it's time to block on the edge, for a stretch play or a toss play. Man, they out there getting it. Like that's what the New Orleans Saints need. That's what they need. So if you can get a player like Jeremiah Love, or you can get yourself a disruptor defensively, a guy that, that can be that generational talent for you like Cam Jordan was, throughout his career, then I think that's a plus. Like I don't care that much about, style points, because at the end of the day, I mean, nobody remembers the actual score of games. Like they only just remember that you won. You'll probably remember the score for a couple of weeks, but then, if I was to ask you what was the score of the Giants Saints game, like you're probably not going to be able to tell me without looking at Google. So at the end of the day, man, it's about winning. It's about putting yourself in the best position to win. And also when you need plays down the stretch, who can go out there and make a play for you defensively, getting the quarterback on the ground, being a disruptor, getting an interception. Offensively, if you're a quarterback, matriculating the ball down the field, if you're a running back, getting those extra yards to try to, milk the clock. If you're a wide receiver, being a possession guy, moving the chains, that's what you want, man. That's what you want at the end of the day. So if you can have a good combination of those type of guys, I say why not? I think we take whoever the best player on the board when we pick. Yeah, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer for that. And I know that if they if they draft an offensive lineman, I know Saints fans going to be throwing stuff at their television. Let's see. You need a for sure difference maker in the first round on either side. For sure. I guess you mean for sure difference maker. Yeah. I mean, you definitely need a difference maker that on any side of the football. Like that's the best thing about this. Like there's no right or wrong answer to this question. Like what do they need? Because they showing promise at other positions, but it's not to a point where if the Saints was to draft another edge rusher, like you wouldn't understand. Linebacker, you wouldn't understand. Cornerback, you wouldn't understand. Receiver, like any position you'll understand. Hey, TJ, know what's funny? Saints actually have a chance to beat all of their division rivals on the road. They went to Carolina and won. They went to Tampa and won. And last week of the season, they played the Falcons. Yeah, they got a chance to do that. And that would be great, man. Having a respectable record in your division, that just means that you're trending in the right direction. Nate, you can't get rid of hurt guys. You actually got to get rid of guys when they playing at their highest. Yeah, I mean, it all depends, though. I mean, if you look at a player probably in their prime and you probably feel like they got about 2 or 3 more years left in them, like you probably want to consider a trade. It's kind of similar to what the Patriots did with Richard Seymour. You know, like they end up trading Richard Seymour to the Raiders years back, and they probably felt like, hey, he's still good, but how many more years that he going to give you? Now he went to the Raiders and still made a lot of noise, but at the end of the day, it's like you rather trade a player a year too early than a year too late. But if they're a young player, man, and they can possibly be a cornerstone player, I don't think you need to consider that. But the problem is, to me, I don't think any player on the Saints team right now is like a lock. Like if you look at like the guys that they drafted a few years back, and around this time they're supposed to be considered cornerstone players. Am I like looking at this guy like, man, this is a lock for me to extend him? Like, I don't think there's a player on this team, not one. That goes for Chris Olave, that goes for Alontae Taylor. Like, I don't see any of those guys. Like, I don't see any of those guys as irreplaceable. Like, I think that the Saints are more than likely going to sign them because they're solid, and they give you enough justification for you to sign them for an extension. But I don't think that they're undeniable. Like, it's not to a point where if the Saints were to not re-sign Alontae Taylor, I don't think they could find another guy that can do what Alontae Taylor does. That's why tanking is pointless. Keep losing, and you go into next season with the same problem. Yeah. And then I don't want anybody on the team with that type of mentality, man. I don't want anybody with a defeatist type mentality. Like, why would you want to be around anybody like that or anything like that? Like, that wouldn't even make any sense to me. Like, I don't want to be around quitters. Right? I'm trying to give my all in everything that I do. I don't care if it's big or small. I'm trying to give my all in everything that I do. And that's the type of players that you want. The fact that the New Orleans Saints aren't phoning it in, it's just a testament to these players. I love Davis, but we desperately need a middle linebacker that can move sideline to sidelines. Yeah, man. I mean, it's amazing that Demario Davis is still playing at such a high level, man. But, like, how many more years do you think that you're going to get, like, high level Demario Davis? And to be quite honest with you, what the Saints are asking Demario Davis to do, to me, is almost like unfair. Like, because that's not the way the football pecking order is supposed to be. Like, you think about like mid 2010s, right? When Ray Lewis was winding down in his career, they had Terrell Suggs, right? Terrell Suggs was the guy that they was like relying on to be that next guy, right? That, Ray Lewis was just out there. He was making plays still. I mean, he wasn't no slouch, but Terrell Suggs was the guy that they were looking at to make plays and be that disruptor all the time. That's why, like, if Cam Jordan is giving you 2 sacks, that's a pleasant surprise. If he give you a sack a game, in any game, that's a pleasant surprise. You're supposed to be relying on some of the younger guard. The problem is none of the younger guard are good enough to be able to compete with Demario Davis. And this is where, Demario Davis, his personality, his demand of excellence, this is why he should be celebrated, because he knows that he's the better linebacker in the room. He knows that none of those young guys can roll with him, right? But he's not like phoning it in and be like, you know what, man? These young cats can't hang with me. He is going out there leading by example, and he's continuing to try to be the best linebacker he can be and doing what he needs to do. That respect for Demario Davis, because, like I said, most players in that position, they don't feel like anybody can compete with them. They may not have that type of mental makeup, right? I mean, but you see Demario Davis. I mean, Demario Davis is all around the football. It's very few weeks that Demario Davis doesn't lead the team in tackles, that he doesn't get double-digit tackles. He had 7 tackles in the game versus Tampa. I want to say the last couple of weeks he's had 11. I think he had 11 versus Miami. I think he had another 11, the week before against Atlanta. So when you look at Demario Davis, it's good that the Saints actually have somebody like that. But to me, I think what the Saints are asking him to do is kind of unfair to him. But I mean, he's living up to the expectations, him being on the team. But somebody needs to step up. And I like the fact that Kellen Moore, Brandon Staley, they're using these young guys. Like you're seeing Stutzman get reps, and he's getting more reps. You're seeing Isaiah Stallberg get reps. You're seeing Jonah Williams get reps. Like you're seeing these guys who are a little bit more explosive, got a little bit more speed from sideline to sidelines, getting on the field because, the Saints are going to have to get younger and they're going to have to get faster. And I think that's helping this defense. Like the fact that they have these guys that can run sideline to sidelines and be able to keep up with these running backs, be able to keep up with these tight ends. And I just think that's the reason why the New Orleans Saints defense has improved over the last few weeks. They already replaced Demario Stutzman first position as middle linebacker, not outside linebacker. TJ, look it up at Oklahoma. Look, he may have played middle linebacker, but I mean, he's not out there playing middle linebacker right now. Like he's playing outside. I mean, his main position is middle linebacker, which he played at Oklahoma, but he's not playing middle linebacker with the Saints as long as Demario Davis is out there. They probably have him playing maybe like weak side linebacker or something like that, when Demario is out there, kind of maybe relieving P. Warner. But yeah, I mean, but we'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, maybe the Saints like the way that Danny Stutzman is playing that position. They might keep him there. They might add somebody else to be their middle linebacker. But we'll see. Facts, TJ was an outside linebacker before he got here. They're asking him to do too much. Who you think is a better lock down corner, Riley or Kool-Aid? I think we can use another ball hawk in the secondary. Well, I think that Kool-Aid McKinstry has really stepped up as of late. I think that he has done a really good job. I mean, he was very, very up and down early in the season, but over the last couple of weeks, I mean, he's been pretty much locked in, man. I mean, he did a really good job against Jalen Waddle. Emeka Buka, his name wasn't called very frequently when he was guarding him. So I think that Kool-Aid McKinstry is coming into his own. But I do agree that they need another corner. I mean, I like Quincy Riley. I think that, he hasn't done anything that I just feel like, have us wondering like, oh, man, what the Saints are going to do. Like he seems like he's pretty consistent. But look, you can never have too many, guys in the secondary. You can never have too many talented, rangy cornerbacks, especially the way the NFL is structured now where everybody wants to throw the football. And, you also need some really good depth at cornerback because Saints been fortunate this season. I mean, yeah, you lost Julian Blackman and you lost Justin Reed, but at the cornerback position, man, not too many guys have went down. I mean, you had Isaac Yadam out there, but he can play. The Saints just want to keep that 4th round supplemental pick. So that's the reason why they got Quincy Riley out there. Lucky for Quincy Riley, he is justifying the Saints making that move. If he was terrible, can you imagine? I mean, Loomis, oh man, you wasted a pick and we could have got a supplemental pick. But look, Isaac Yadam, like y'all already know. Who you already read that says, hey TJ, I know Cam Jordan and DeMario older, but they should get a Pro Bowl vote at the least. I mean, man, what's a Pro Bowl vote in 2025? Like, man, the Pro Bowl is a joke. And I get it, maybe like I think guys would probably be more happy of being an all-pro than to be a Pro Bowler. I mean, what's that? Oh man, you got an invite to go play dodgeball. Like, I don't know, man. I guess like Pro Bowl don't mean what it used to. Like back in the day, when guys were making a Pro Bowl, it was actually doing something, man. But what are we doing now? Like I'm making a Pro Bowl to go out here, I don't know, to play dodgeball, cornhole, flag football. Like, man, what are we doing, man? So yeah, I mean, why not? But all I'm saying is the Pro Bowl notch is it ain't what it used to be. It used to be something you can brag on, but now, like, come on, come on, man. Depends what pick we end up if the wide receivers are are not there at first round, then draft a wide receiver in later rounds. Yeah. I mean, but this is a pretty deep draft. You can probably get yourself a really good, talented wide receiver late. Strolling down says Cam Jordan for an older guy has, I think, 6 or 7 sacks. Should get him a Pro Bowl vote at least. He's actually been your best pass rusher this year. That's true. He has been. That just speaks volumes to Cam Jordan. Speaks volumes to the lack of guys that are out there consistently getting to the quarterback too. If they mess around and draft Reese, that linebacker room going to be crazy with DeMario and Stutzman. I don't know Shuck. I didn't know Shuck had a little speed with him. I'm not saying he's Lamar Prime Vic, but he can run. Only going to get better. He got fans' eyes again. Yeah, man. I mean, what he ran like a 4.7 at the combine. And I just think that, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers underestimated him as a quarterback that can scramble. But boy, did he make a believer out of him. I think that the last game they played, he did throw the ball 30 times, which was insane. Like, keep in mind, like, he came in during garbage time and then threw the ball 30 times. So they probably thought, okay, man, statue in the pocket, let's just collapse the pocket and then we'll just, sack him and all that. But they ain't expect for him to be able to break free like that. But if he can build on that, man, you're going to have a lot of excited Saints fans to see Tyler Shuck play. And the Saints might find themselves back on primetime television because of it. Because, that run, that 13-yard touchdown that he scrambled on when he broke away from 2 tackles, one that included a 360-pound Via Vea, that has made his rounds and has went viral. So, he got the eyes of the NFL world on him. So, good afternoon, TJ. You're the best Saints podcast out there as far as I'm concerned. I appreciate that, man. Sometimes I am an after show boy, but always watch the state of the Saints or when I can. P.S. Forget tanking, let's win. Who that? Scott, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the kind words. And yeah, I ain't down with the tanking either. How would you feel if we draft Delaney in the first round? I wouldn't mind at all. That guy, man. Yeah, I mean, a really talented cornerback. Of course, he started his career at Virginia Tech before coming to LSU. And yeah, I think, man, look, he's going to be the first or one of the top cornerbacks taken off the board, man, if not the top cornerback taken off the board. So as far as I'm concerned, like, I would like it. But you have to ask yourself, like, what, is that the most important need? To me, man, you need you need somebody that's going to be a disruptor. You need somebody that's going to be able to get the quarterback on the ground, or you're going to need a dynamic offensive playmaker. The Saints need speed on the offensive side of the football and somebody that's going to make somebody miss. Like, it's you got to be too perfect in this Saints offense right now. Like the offensive line got to block, in order to create lanes for guys to be able to run through. Like, sometimes you need that running back that probably going to make that guy who got into the backfield miss and turn a negative 2-yard play into at least a 4 or 5-yard play. Like, you need somebody that's going to make somebody miss. That's something that the Saints have been missing on the offensive side of football, man. And the guys like breaking away from the defense. I can't remember last time I seen somebody breaking away from the defense, like breaking 2 and 3 tackles to fight for extra yards. Like, most of the time it's like a guy just gets a little bit of separation, quarterback throws in the football, he catches it right at the first down mark or short of the first down. Like, I want to see a guy breaking free, like streaking across the middle, catch him in stride, breaking free, getting separation, or a guy like right there on him, but he still breaks free and fights for extra yards. Like that's something that every offense needs, because, man, sometimes like the quarterback can throw you the ball, man, but sometimes you got to make a play yourself. TJ, what's up, my guy? I'm at work. Just came in to show quick support. And as always, we'll be an after show boy after work. Well, I appreciate that, Damien. Thank you for stopping by. So they be tweeting and be posting. Yeah. Shouts out to them after show boys. Says Saints playing an NFL game in 2026 in Paris. All I can say is, I guess that's something in French. I ain't even try to I ain't gonna try to pronounce that, man. I'm gonna let you have it, Jerry. French is not my forte. Sadly, our quarterback was the only guy that something like that. Yeah, I mean, but that's a good thing, right? I mean, look, you want your quarterback to be able to have the capability of being able to make things happen, right? I mean, you ain't got to do it all the time, but to know that he has that capability, I think that it makes Saints fans more optimistic about the future. I hate to say it, but we still need offensive linemen. I mean, look, that's just the truth. Like we talked about that earlier, Oscar. Like you may not want the Saints to draft offensive linemen, but you know, they're gonna have to. Man, is there a Jahmyr Gibbs in his draft? We need someone like that. I mean, Jeremiah Love is probably the closest thing you're gonna get to that. That means let the good times roll. And thank you, TJ. Yeah, I appreciate that. Wrong tone roulette, I believe that's what it is. I mean, but I wasn't trying to look. I'm terrible at French. I took like one French class when I was in elementary school. Like I leave that to my fine folks, and you know, we got some French speaking people in Louisiana. That is not my forte. Please do not draft offensive lineman with the first pick or any pick. Going through free agency for that. Now, look, if you can get yourself a talented offensive lineman in the draft and they give you production like Calvin Banks, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at it. Like, we got to put this thing into perspective, Vornell. Like, we can't, like, say, okay, don't draft the offensive lineman because we tired of watching them draft offensive linemen. If they hit on offensive linemen, I'm okay with it. Like, they drafted Calvin Banks. Like, who's upset with Calvin Banks? Like Calvin Banks is good, right? I mean, it seemed like, okay, the Saints found they true left tackle. I mean, there's no problem with that. Like, you want them to draft a player that is going to give them a really good ROI, return on investment. That's what you want. You don't want to be sitting up here like, oh, man, Trevor Penning 2.0, right? Cesar Ruiz, nah, man. If a guy can give you production, I don't care. I don't care, man. Like it's only a bad idea when it's proven it's bad. We can sit up here and moan and groan, but if the Saints go out here and get Francis Malgoa and they put him like this, they put him at the guard position and he out there mauling guys and he looking like a really good guard, like one of the top guards in the league. Like who gonna care? I won't. If you rolling with Devin Neal and Devin Neal getting 5-6 yards a clip, flirting with 1,000 yards, or if Alvin coming back and you see prime Alvin, like who cares? I just want the draft pick to work out, and I'm pretty sure that's what you want. But it's just like, okay, we can't allow the pass to make you so frustrated to a point where you rather just say, oh man, just don't draft nothing at all. Well, you still gonna have a problem. And in my opinion, okay, if you use a free agent, like think about this, okay, if you use a free agent, talking about a 26, 27-year-old guy who's probably testing free agency to try to see if he can get top dollar at his position. So what would you want? Like, would you want a young, promising offensive lineman that you did your homework on that can give you the type of production like Calvin Banks could on the offensive line? Or would you want to pay a guy to come to your football team that you probably could have used that money to utilize, be utilized at another position? So to me, like if you can get yourself a good offensive lineman and he on a rookie deal, by all means, I would rather do that than to get a guy in free agency. A pass rusher that can speed up the opposition offense, forcing the quarterback into bad situations, disrupting the offensive flow and scheme, getting extra offensive attempts, and a mauler at guard quality depth. Yeah. I mean, if you know for sure you can get that, I wouldn't be mad at all, man. We reached for Penning and Ruiz, and both of those guys have been very disappointing. But the last two guys are gamers. Yeah, I mean, look, it's hit and miss, right? I mean, most of the time it's miss on his offensive line. I don't know what the heck going on. I don't know, man, why they just can't pick offensive linemen. But, I mean, if you know that it can work, like, why not? Like I don't want to be saying, oh, the Saints don't pick no offensive line just because, okay, over the last couple of years I wasn't satisfied. But okay, if you can give me, if you can tell me another Calvin Banks is coming, fine, right? Like if you can get that, I wouldn't care. TJ not expecting an upset, but if the Falcons beat the Bucs Thursday night and the Saints beat the Panthers Sunday, that would be great. Yeah, man, if the Falcons beat the Bucs on Thursday. But look, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. Honestly, I don't want to say that I don't care, but I don't care, man. I mean, look, this whole division is a joke at the end of the day, man. It's not a really good division. It's been one of the worst divisions in football for the last 4 to 5 years. And, man, I just want to go back to the days when the NFC South made some noise. Like, you had MVP caliber quarterbacks. Like, these teams were like going up against one another. You was getting the best every single week. Now it's just like, man, who is less trash, I guess, man, but I don't know, man. You look at Tampa. Tampa has been decimated with injuries. Baker Mayfield playing hurt with that AC joint. You got Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers out there. They beating teams they shouldn't have any business beating and losing the teams they should be beating. And you got Carolina Panthers fans like taking shots at me, saying, "Oh man, TJ, why you up here criticizing the Panthers and you ain't showing no love for the Panthers?" Man, first of all, and I know some of y'all probably here, y'all probably watching this, but thank y'all for tuning in. It only took y'all about 15 weeks to show up. And, that's the one thing that really bothers me about some of these fan bases here. They don't show up at all, right? You don't see them. When they're going through hardship, going through hard times, you don't never see them. You don't see them at all. And then all of a sudden, when they win a few games or they win a game they ain't got no business winning, they want to go and they want to scour YouTube and everywhere else and try to talk about what about us, what about us, what about us. Well, my response to you is you didn't even believe in your own damn team. You didn't even believe in your own team. So why should I sit up here and believe in your team? So at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I'm still picking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the division. I'm still picking them. Carolina hasn't done anything. What have they done? Okay, they beat the Rams. Okay, good. I mean, the Rams one of the best teams in the league, but y'all still going to turn around and lay an egg the next week. Bryce Young throws for 400 plus yards against the Falcons and then throws for 144 yards against the Saints. Like, what kind of stuff is this? And that's like, you're supposed to hang your hat on that. And like I said, man, like, hey, that bothers me. Like, if you're a fan of a team and I see you consistently being somewhere and like, oh man, we're gonna turn it around, and then all of a sudden, like, okay, y'all turn around, like, okay, what my props at, TJ? Okay, cool. But when I am doing the NFC South Roundtable every single week and I don't even see Carolina Panthers fans in there at all, maybe one or two, and then all of a sudden the Carolina Panthers come off a bye week and that's all you see underneath the comments. Like, you didn't even believe in your team. Like, give me a freaking break, man. And like I said, man, until the Carolina Panthers show me some consistency, like then I sit up here and say, okay, man, they can win the division. But even if you go back to my predictions, I had the Carolina Panthers finishing second in the NFC South. So if I didn't respect you at all, I would have put you like third or last. But man, I get no respect for that, man. They don't get no respect about us. What about us? Like, man, please. What about us? I'd rather win out and go 7-10 because that shows growth in Kellen Shuck and this team. Have a top 15 pick and still have 7 more picks. Yeah, I mean, look. Win as many games as you possibly can. Win as many games as you possibly can. But yeah, like I said, man, at the end of the day, man, I'm so tired of these folk. Like, they quiet church mice when they team going through adversity, hardship, ain't saying nothing. Then all of a sudden, like, they win, having some type of inspired victory, and then all of a sudden, what y'all was saying, like you were saying the same thing. Like just because you wasn't sitting up here like commenting, you probably hurry up and erase what you said. Like that don't mean that you was like all in. Like I don't respect that, man. I don't. I mean, I ain't never seen a many Carolina Panther fan since I was doing the round table. Like up here talking about, oh man, you ain't worried about us. You ain't like, man, I don't lose no sleep over the Carolina Panthers at all. I live 3 hours from Charlotte. And I can tell you, I can probably count on one hand outside of the NFC South roundtable that I didn't had a conversation with anybody in this area about the Carolina Panthers. Anybody. That's a fact. Talking about keep pounding. Man, please, that is why I'm highly entertained. Look, I don't mind you repping for your team, but I do mind that when you go missing, and then when your team starts to show some life, then all of a sudden, like you scouring social media for validation. Like, no, man, no. Like, man, bro, you wasn't with them shooting in the gym. Do you understand? Like, you wasn't there. Like right now, man, look, I done got off, man. I started walking. Okay, they got a little room for me to sit on this bandwagon. Let me hop back on here. Look like they gonna do something. Like, man, look, y'all don't even get no respect for that. And I stand by what I said. Like, I have nothing against the Carolina Panthers at all. I think they're a talented young team. And I've said this on several occasions. I said they're a team that's trying to figure it out. And I said once they figure it out, I think they're going to be a talented team. But I still don't think they figured it out. I still think they're a team that reads their press clippings. They're a team that, they'll look great 1 minute, and then the next week, they look like slaw. Like, and I also just question the quarterback player, Bryce Young. I mean, yeah, he'll play good 1 week, but if a team starts to shut down Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard, like, what you going to do then? I hope the Saints don't draft another tackle and move Fuaga to right guard or something. We need to draft players at their natural positions and stop the Ruiz Penning type of experiment. Well, Larry, if you don't want that, you want to keep Fuaga at his natural position, which is right tackle, because that's where he was at Oregon State, and that's what he played throughout his entire football life. So you want him to be there. Like, you want somebody to, you want somebody to be a guard. Yeah, I agree. Draft a guard. But yeah, leave Tally where he is. Like, don't, man. Tally is hurt. Like, Tally has been dealing with injuries and all season long, man. Tallahassee Fuaga is straight at right tackle. Like, I get it. When you see a guy out there playing, you don't understand their ailments. You just see that they're out there. But Tally gonna be all right. TJ, you going to the combine? That's the plan. That's the plan. I plan on going. Hopefully I get accepted again. If I get accepted, then I'll go. If I don't, then, probably won't be going. But the plan is to go. Side note, get Staley his player, and he has low-key, high-key, has success season with this D, pause. Is not perfect, but it's also not horrible. Yeah, I agree, And he's doing a really good job with guys that, don't and not want to give you what Joey Bosa or what Khalil Mack gave you in Los Angeles, right? I mean, so that's a good thing. You get yourself a dominant pass rush, a guy with a Michael Parsons type style, right? And virtually unguardable, got that speed, that really good quick first step. Like, man, you can be all right. Then you got yourself a really formidable defense. My boy Ruiz gets escorted to the backfield at a fine dining restaurant. Been playing okay lately, but needs an upgrade in the interior. Yeah, man, look, not good enough for me to sit up here and say that he good at right guard. Like, no. But knowing the Saints, he'll be back next year. But me, I'm thinking about trying to trade him. Like, that's probably a good thing. Like, he having a solid season. Maybe you can put some trade value out there to try to trade him and try to get something back for him. They will even cancel podcasts if they season not. Exactly. Did we forget? There was a very popular Carolina Panthers podcast. These guys said that they wrapping it up. I mean, it made national news, right? That these well-respected podcasters that everybody pay attention to said, man, this team ain't doing nothing. Let's focus on our families. And some of y'all understood the assignment too. Because some of y'all went back to y'all families. And now, your team started winning. Now all of a sudden, now it's time for us to sneak out the dining room and go watch the TV. Y'all know how it used to go, right? It was family time. Everybody sat at the dining room table. Let me hurry up and scarf down this food so I can go sit next to that flow model TV. Some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about, but my OGs do. That's what they did. Now all of a sudden, man, the game getting good. Let me slide out of here. Man, miss me with that. Man, well, I'll respect that. Well, I'll respect. Man, you don't have any respect because you lost it when you dipped out on your team around week 5. Now week 15, all of a sudden, man, where my props at? Where my props at? When you gonna give us our props? Man, you ain't got no respect for the Carolina Panthers. I respect the Carolina Panthers. I probably respect the Carolina Panthers more so than their fan base do. Yes, I just said that. I respect their team more than they do. I'm talking about, man, it looked like a ghost town up in there. Carolina Panthers ghost town. That what it looked like. Now they beat the Rams. Keep pounding, baby. Keep pounding. Keep pounding, baby. Man, miss me with that, man. If you ain't going to be there every week repping for your squad, be quiet. I still like to see what Julian Blackmon do next year, so I don't think I'm drafting another, safety, I guess you're saying, until late in the draft. Well, I want to see what he can do too, but the Saints going to have to re-sign him again because he got a 1-year, $5 million deal that he signed. So I have to see, number one, if he's going to be well enough to play, and number two, is it worth the investment? But I tell you this, you can invest in him, but don't go into the season looking at him as your starting safety. Man, this is the second time, man, this guy's been dealing with this type of injury, and it's cost him an entire season, which unfortunate because I think he probably would have had a really good season. We need to replace Alante at the starting position. Caleb Downs, maybe. Yeah, man. I mean, look, Alante Taylor is okay in my book, but is he extension good? I want to give him an extension. Not really. I mean, he's going to get paid on somebody going to pick him up, and he's going to get paid really well because he's not the worst, not the worst nickel / safety, type, in the NFL, but dude too hot and cold for me. He reminds me of Von Bell. Von Bell was Von Bell, he'll make a play, and then he'll whiff on a play, and then all of a sudden he'll make a tackle that matter. That's what Alante Taylor is. Alante Taylor basically is Von Bell to me. That's who he remind me of. I mean, it's kind of feast or famine. It's he's gonna give up an egregious play, or he's gonna make a really good play. Like that one play, I want to say he gave up a touchdown. I don't know if it was against the Falcons. Right? I mean, he took a bad angle. But then all of a sudden, he was a tackling machine after that. Then there was a play where, A-Chain basically left him in the backfield, and he was just looking like, what the heck going on here? A lot of people question his effort. But after that, he still was a tackling machine. Then you'll have games where he'll probably have an interception and probably come on a blitz. But he too hot and cold for me, man. I mean, if you pay him, I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints pay him, but I think you can do better at that position. But we're going to go ahead and get up out of here, man. I want to say thank you all for checking out the Saints podcast this afternoon. I ask that you hit the like button if you enjoy the content. You got previous episodes that are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, or Spotify for podcasters. You can also check out the Bleacher Report. Every single day we do Saints Minute, where we break down the New Orleans Saints and talk about a particular topic. You can download the Bleacher Report app and search New Orleans Saints. You'll be able to see that. Also, go to Yahoo Sports, search New Orleans Saints. You'll be able to check out episodes of the State of the Saints podcast, as well as clips there. Also, this NFC South Roundtable is available for you every single Tuesday at 8 p.m. If you didn't catch it, make sure that you go to youtube.com, search NFC South Roundtable. Till next time, all I got to say is,
thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I gotta say is, who dat?